Hi, I'm Carrie from Create Pretty. I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful citrus sliced vases. It's super easy to do and is only going to take you about 50 days, unless, of course, you have my instructions step by step with a lot of tips. It actually is quite easy and not very time consuming unless it's your first time or your third time. But I did come up with a lot of really easy ways to get this done in a short period of time, and you will be a superstar and people will give you a lot of compliments and kudos. So I'm going to start with the supplies that you need. Of course, you need some citrus fruit. You need some knives to cut it. Only use a serrated edge. A flat edge just is so much harder to control and does create a lot of juice and you're kind of squishing the fruit. The serrated edges are the best. And then a pair of scissors to make some circles that will be your guide. And then some floral scissors to cut stems. You're probably going to want some kind of measuring tool, a tape measure, or one of these little sewing things. And then if you're using hydrangeas, you're going to want some alum. I have not had a good relationship with hydrangeas, but I finally do. I went and looked at all these videos, and there was this great one about using the alum method, they call it. I used it, and my hydrangeas have been perfect for 2 days. Actually, they even look a little better from when I bought them at the grocery store. So next, I'm going to show you the vases and what you want to look for when you're buying them. Okay, let's talk vases. So I was at Home Goods and I saw this apothecary vessel, whatever you call it, in a box, packed really well for about $24. So I bought two of them. I bought all they had. And I thought, this is cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And then I ended up thinking I could use this as a vase to do the citrus slice flower arrangement, which is perfect. So you take the lid off and voila, you have this beautiful pedestal vase, which adds interest since it has a pedestal. And then you have to have an inside glass. So this is 6 inches, this is 5, this is 4, and this is 3. Basically, you want it about 2 inches in diameter less. So I'll show you how close and too tight this is. So this is a 5-inch, and there'd basically be no room to put your flower, your citrus slices, or almost anything. Very little working room, so you don't want it 1 inch apart. So we're getting rid of that. And then I bought this one, which is, let's see, this is 6, 5, 4. This is 3 inches. So this is 3 inches apart in diameter. You have so much space, you'd have to really cut your citrus slices really large, so you don't want that. So that one's out. Now this is my 6 again, this is my 4, and this one turns out to be perfect. Plenty of room to put your citrus slices, and they're just going to be nice size citrus slices that is going to look really nice in this vase. Okay, so I have to squat down here so you can see this. I've come up with the easiest way to determine the width that your fruit should be. I used calculators online, I did circumferences, I had to go back to math and learn radius and, oh God, what's the other one? It's a little too much for someone my age. So finally, I think I just, in the middle of the night, went, oh, there's got to be a better way. And believe me, there is. You take the two vases and you let them rest on each other so that this is your inside, this is your outside. And then you measure the space, not the glass, but that space between the two. So mine is about 1.5 inches. That means there's going to be 3/4 of an inch all the way around to put the fruit, but you don't want it tight. So I'm going to go down to 1/2 inch. So the approximate amount that I want to have for my width is 1/2 inch slices. Simple? Yes. So now that we know the width of your slices, we need to know how many slices around you want. And we do this by finding the circumference of the inside of this vase. That was the word I was looking for, circumference. So it's all coming back to me now, 8th grade math, right? So the way to find a circumference is you find the diameter. So the inside diameter of this, oh, by the way, you don't have to actually do any of this. You could wing it. Winging it is totally fine, but it might be a little easier, a little quicker this way. So the inside diameter is, I did it the wrong way. Let's see here. It's about 4.5. So you go to calculator.net and you type in the diameter of a circle, because they have circle calculators, and then it's going to tell you what this is around on the inside. Well, it's about 16 inches. So I know I'm going to probably have 4 slices all the way around. So I'm going to have rows of 4 stacking up uniformly. So what I did then was I got a piece of paper and I actually I printed this. This is my 4-inch circle, and I use this as a guide, which made it really easy. They don't have to be exactly this, but some a little bigger, some a little smaller. So we're going to actually start putting the fruit in, and it's going to be so easy now because we have all these tips. So now we're going to actually start slicing the fruit. And if you want ticks and trips, wait, if you want tips and tricks, I actually have them. So you want to cut your fruit cold because less juice comes out. It's easier to work with. It's easier to cut everything. Definitely don't use a straight edge knife. Like I mentioned earlier, use a serrated edge. Now test them. So I have this serrated edge. I think it's a utility knife. And then I have the bread knife. So I'm just going to give it a slice. Okay, that was pretty good. Came through okay. Wasn't too hard. Butter. This one is butter. So test your knives out before you start slicing up all your fruit, and you're going to have to weigh some. So what we're going to do is attempt to cut the perfect slices that are going to fit in this. So I've already cut some. So let's do a few right now. Maybe we'll get a second row cut. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoopsie. So now this exercise is actually putting them in, but these aren't permanent. We're going to make sure everything fits. We're going to build our stack. Then we're going to take them out and clean our vase and then put them in and then put the flowers in. Another really great tip that I learned the hard way. Okay, so let's try putting these in and see how it goes. You just slide them on down. You kind of see I don't know if you can see the juice coming out or not, but it is a little messy. Slide them down. Oh, wait, got like my little poker. I forgot to tell you, you need a little poker, like a garden stick or a floral stick, I mean. There's 4, 3. Okay, let's get that one down over here with the little stick. And then it looks like a pretty big space. So I'm going to actually steal one that's a little bit bigger from my other stack because we don't want a lot of spaces in between the fruit. Okay. Okay, get in there. See, the stick really helps a lot. We need to kind of flip this one over a tad. Push, 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 push. See, I'm kind of pushing and go down, 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 down. I have a perfect first row. So let's do the second row and see if that looks just as good. So we're going to use these slices that I actually cut earlier and put in the refrigerator. Now what you're doing is you're layering them in between. So see, there's the little kind of just fits right in there in between the two. Let's get another one in there. In between the two. One more in between the two. And it looks like this is going to be a little small. So I have more in my refrigerator, and I'm going to go grab those, and then we'll stack it all the way up. Okay, I grabbed these from my refrigerator. My other important tip, do not cut these all at once and hope they fit. Cut row by row. So we need kind of a big one because this space looks a little bit bigger. So in my stack, I'm going to pick one of the bigger slices. Ooh, here's a really big one down at the bottom. All right, so let's put that one in. Falls in pretty well. A little tight, but I'm sure it's gonna, oh, perfect. Okay, so I built another row. So now cut, cut, cut. and then build another row. That one's kind of big, so this one's going to be a little bit smaller. This one looks kind of got, you eyeball it after a while, but you can kind of start seeing it come together and figuring out that your slices need to be pretty, to have a really big gap right there. So what I'm going to do is actually take this one out and scooch that bottom row over. Now this is not our final product, so we really don't need to do this too much, but let me just show you how to get rid of that little space. It's a little bit too big. You just want to scooch this baby over by kind of engaging it with the tip. And that space is now looking pretty good, not too far apart. And then we have one more to fit in, and that looks kind of like a big one too. So I'm going to grab my biggest one. I'm going to slide that down. Okay, so we built 1, 2, 3 rows. Very good. I'm going to go grab the rest from my refrigerator of my pre-cut ones, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got some nice cold ones. Got a really big one there. This is more medium. And then let's see. Let's put this one here. And then it looks like I kind of need a big one, but maybe this will work. Okay, perfect. Okay, we did it. We did 4 rows that are all uniform, no real big giant spaces, and it's okay to have room up here because we're going to have foliage that goes down over it. We're doing well so far. I'm super excited. So your first go around doing this might not go this smoothly, and a lot of times you're taking fruit up, you're pushing it down, you're scooching it all together, and you end up getting a lot of pulp and a lot of juice. And we're going to be pouring water in here as part of our final touches in the arrangement. And you don't want a bunch of pulp floating. So I have a really good tip for this. Basically, you're going to take them all out and you're going to stack the rows together because you know that these work. And try to stack them the same way that you have them facing. Now I can't get my hand in there to pull the others out. So if I carefully take my vase out and set it aside, now I can pull these rows and put them together. So I'm putting kind of my outside up. Whoopsie. Well, we'll get that one later. This one up. So I'm just kind of grabbing my rows. And then there's that one. Whoops. So basically, we're going to take all these out and we're going to go by row, and then we're going to go put them in the refrigerator and have them be cold. That way you won't have all this pulp and this juice at the bottom. 3. Okay, while our slices are getting nice and firm in the refrigerator, I'm going to show you the trick with hydrangeas. They were not my friends, and they are now. So I'm very happy about that because I think it's my favorite flower. So basically, what you want to do is you want to cut it underwater. Don't cut it anywhere else but underwater. So let me show you. Get my little, you can tell I'm a pro at this, right? Been doing it my whole life. Not really. I get crazy ideas, and this is what happens. Okay, so while it's underwater, I'm going to take your pruners and cut underwater. Okay, so it's underwater. Then you're going to take your little knife. I use a paring knife. Move this out of the way. And you're going to just get rid of that outside layer. Sometimes people say to smash them or cut them. I'm using this method and it has worked. So I've seen a few sad hydrangeas in this house, but not this time. Okay, so then you take the end and you stick it in the alum. It's like a salt kind of. And you just get it on there really good. Maybe tap it down a little and then put it in the water. And that's all there is to it. And I still have hydrangeas that are alive. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the rest of the citrus fruit and we're gonna build our vase. Okay, we're ready to build our vase. So I have these cold grapefruits from the refrigerator, and I have them in the stacks that they came out of. Not any order of stacks, but the same stacks. So we already know that these are going to fit. So I'm going to carefully drop my first one in. A lot less juice and pulp coming off that. A lot less. Okay. And I'm going to go down to this side. Get that one in there. Let me grab my pokey stick. Very, very, very helpful. By the way, small vases are so easy. This is detailed because it's a really large vase, but you're going to be making a really large statement. I'm actually going to be having a grapefruit martini party, and I'll be using my vases for the party. I actually make a frozen grapefruit martini that is out of this world, served in a champagne cup. Okay, let's see. So I'll be doing another video on how I make my grapefruit martinis. But for now, we're going to learn to make our grapefruit sliced bouquet. Citrus sliced bouquet or arrangement, I think we call it citrus sliced. So you can see, once you have this down to a science and you're getting really good at it, that one was a little juicy, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. Let's go with this. You can kind of eyeball them from here on out, just kind of to see which one is likely going to fit the best. Okay. Okay. Very good. Last row. Let's get this one in. See how fast it is? Once you have this down to a science, you could be the professional sliced grapefruit arrangement, citrus sliced arrangement. In our case, it's grapefruit. Citrus. Oh, and we're going to be using oranges next. I'm going to show you a couple more vases. So we're good. So we're going to put our vase in the middle now. Oh, wait, I already put it in the middle. I don't know what I'm thinking. So we're done with this, and now we're going to go make our flower arrangement. Okay, we're almost ready to put our flowers in. And what we're going to do is put in water in between the two vases where you put all of your beautiful citrus fruit. So it's a little tricky because you have a little bit of space. So just get a plastic vessel or a measuring cup or something that has a pour on it. And then just take a couple minutes to get this all the way up to the top. Let me see, it looks like we have a ways to go. And that should be clear, nice water with very little pulp or grapefruit juice in it. And then once that's all done, we're going to put our flowers in. Okay, we're ready to put our flowers in. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, we're not quite there yet. We got to kind of like move everything around and kind of readjust it. So as soon as I have it all gorgeous and I can put it in the camera site, I'll be back. The time has come to assemble our vases. Now keep in mind, we did these several days in advance. They did not take long to do. I got my flowers at the grocery store and I put them in the vases and kind of moved where I want, and then I put a rubber band around them. So that's something you can do ahead of time as well. Oh, I lost one of my little lilies. So let's start with, oh, and there's water all the way around the edge on all of these and water on the inside as well. It's a little harder to pour water once you have everything together, so I recommend doing it that way. Okay, let's start with the orange. I hope you enjoyed my video. I am going to do one more because I have a bonus vase, but I'm going to do that separate. And I also am going to do a grapefruit martini and have a grapefruit martini party with a couple of my friends and have all these vases and these beautiful flowers here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.